question of the day should always be why. Don't resist it. Ask. So if you brought in something negative that you don't like, or something that's causing you pain, your question should be, why did I bring it in? See, this is where we have to be powerful, because I've got to say, why did I bring it in? Why would I bring in a negative thing? Why would I bring something into my life to cause me pain? Does that make any sense? Does it make sense to you? It does? We want pain. Right, in this group? We're looking for pain, is that what we're saying? So we are. So right? But no, we are, so to a degree, we are, because that's a pattern for us. So now I'm in a certain energy, I'm used to being abused. I'm used to being yelled at. I'm used to being physically abused. I'm used to being emotionally abused. That's my thing. I'm in that energy. I'm sending it out. I'm bringing it in. But what's happening, and this is really where we have to make a change, we have to say, why am I doing that? Why would I bring in something negative to cause me pain? Why would I do that? Why? I have to keep asking myself that question. So the question is, the why question helps you open up the channel, because here's what's important. The minute you say why instead of I don't want that, you become powerful. See, when you say, oh no, I didn't bring that in, you took away all your power. You took away all your power because you're not saying, well, I brought it in. You're saying, well, it just came, I didn't really want that, it just kind of showed up. No, it didn't. It didn't just show up. You brought it in. So now the understanding at a higher level is to say why. Now understand, we're here to have in physical form an emotional experience. To have an emotional experience, I need to have negative and I need to have positive. So I need to have negative because it's part of my experience. I don't know the other side. If I don't know that side, I don't know that side. So of course I'm going to bring in negative because it's part of my journey. You should embrace it. So when you bring in something painful, what you want to say to yourself is, oh good, this is something I had to deal with. But what do? We deny it, we resist it. Mostly we're going to get into resistance, or we're going to, basically, human beings have very simple things that we do, very basic. We're going to either project it out onto somebody else, that's a popular one, that it's the other person's fault, which moves you into the energy of a victim, or you're going to internalize it and say, you're an idiot, I can't believe I screwed that up, I can't believe I did that again, I can't believe I can't get this right. Right, so that's another thing that we do. Those are a couple different things, the way we handle it. So those are really pretty much basically what people do. Either it's not my fault because this happened, or you know, I have bad luck and I can't get a break. Either way, you have no power. So what you want to do is, by asking yourself, why did I bring this in? Now I want to say why. If I don't ask the question, I can't get past it. So how many of you brought in the same thing over and over again? Why? Did you ever ask yourself why? Why am I doing that? Why do I keep bringing in the same thing? Why am I doing that? The normal answer is that, see, the other thing that you do is you go into your brain, and your brain has a hard time because your brain wants everything to make sense. So does the world make sense? No. But your brain processes things in that way that it wants everything to make sense. So the problem is, for you, is you're looking at your brain, you're saying, wait a minute, I wanted this, I wanted a better job, and I got fired. What happened? I wanted a nice boyfriend or girlfriend, and look what I got. I wanted to have more money than I got, you know, so this is what, so your brain keeps saying, I don't understand, but I'm doing all this stuff. I'm doing everything, but we get caught up in the doing, because that's a big part of our lives, right, doing something. So I'm doing it, I'm doing it, I'm doing it, I'm doing it, I'm not getting what I want, so my brain jumps in and says, okay, I need to figure it out. What did I do wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? Well, how come it's not right? But that's holding you hostage in your head. It's not about your brain. You're not attracting based on your brain. You're attracting based on your feelings. That's the most important part with this whole thing. And I think when people get caught up in the idea that I'm going to do it all up here, and I'm going to want something, and I'm going to project that thing out, and I'm going to just sit there and look at that picture of the car on my refrigerator until I get it, it shows up in my driveway. Right? That's what a lot of people learn, by the way. A law of attraction. If I keep looking at that car, and I'm excited about it, I'm looking at it every day, and I'm imagining myself in the car, one day it's going to be in my driveway. It's not going to happen. Because that's the way it works. But that's what people learn, because that's how people, it's easier to do that. But that's not true. So again, the question of why, first of all, why do you want something? See, there's a lot of why questions. When people say, well, I want a new car, I say, why? What's wrong with your car? Nothing. Well, why do you want a new one? Just start asking people. You want to get rid of people right away? Just start asking them. You have people in your life that are annoying? Whenever they say, this is what I would say, why do you want that? What's the real reason? What's the emotional anchoring thing that's really telling you that you want a new car? So the idea behind it is the whys are tied to the laws, are tied to the whole thing. So we're saying, well, I want a new car. Why? Well, I want a new car because I'm making more money. Well, that's fine. But why do you need a new car? Oh, I want this Mercedes. Why? Because what's their real reason? Why do most people want a Mercedes?
Image.
Ego. It's all ego. It's all status. It's all ego-driven. So if they could be honest, wouldn't that be great? If you say, why do you want a Mercedes? Because I have a big ego. Wouldn't that be refreshing? If someone just said, yes, that's why I want it, so I could show off. You would be happy. Wouldn't that be great to hear that from somebody? Wouldn't that be awesome if somebody said, yeah, I do. That's why I want a new car. That's why I want a Mercedes, so I can just show off to all my friends. So, but now the idea behind it, now that doesn't mean you can't have a Mercedes or you shouldn't have a Mercedes, but the idea behind it is, or whatever else you want, but the idea behind it is, it's something that you are bringing into your life for the purpose of joy, not for all the other stuff. So if you say, well, I love that car, that car is going to bring me joy, I enjoy driving it, that's great. But what people do is they focus on all the other stuff, right? They want it because of this. And the problem with that philosophy is you get it, and then what happens? It lasts for a month or so, and then what do you want? The next car. Well, that car's not good enough. Then, I saw another guy with this car now. So this becomes this becomes a negative thing because you keep spinning over and over again with the same, okay, I got this, now I got this, now I got this. Again, doesn't mean you can't have it, doesn't mean you can't enjoy it. The problem is when we start to get attached. The attachment becomes a problem, and we get attached to it, and then it ties into your ego and into your identity, and that's really where you get stuck. So now you're trying to attract things into your life or bring things into your life to feed this beast, and this is a beast. Your ego identity is an insatiable beast that can never be filled. Because you're going to just keep dumping more into it, and it's going to want more and more and more. It's like, I was just watching movies on the other day, Little Shop of Horrors. Remember that? The big, I got the blood, and I want more blood and more blood and more blood. So that's what happens with your ego, because your ego can never be satisfied in the physical sense. It will always want more. It's always going to want more. It's always going to desire more. It's always going to keep wanting to pull more from you. So because you're trying to fill this hole that you can't fill. It's like a well that you just get. I keep pouring. I can't get this thing filled up because again you're in the wrong space. So now for us at a higher level to live our lives, we have to say we have to be okay with attracting whatever we want. It's fine. So you have to understand your judgment on all this stuff also is an issue. So how much judgment do you have on somebody who has 5 cars? Do you have judgment on that person? Why?
Good for them.
Good for them, right? Good, they should have 10 cars. I'll never forget, I was in New York at one point, it was a while back. I think Oprah at the time, it was a long time ago, she got her own plane. I think she got her own plane, I forget what it was. And a woman in the audience was all upset about this. I can't believe it, or why does she need her own plane? She could just keep flying first class. I said, why do you use, is it your money? What do you care if she has her own plane? Right, but again, this is how we, why do you need, Now, listen, you don't have to like it. There's a lot of things not to like, but you don't have to judge it. You can say, well, that's fine. Maybe you would say, well, I wouldn't do that, but if they want to do that, is that okay? Should be okay. Now, you may say, well, I don't agree with that, and that's not what I would do, but that doesn't mean that the world ended because your opinion is that that person shouldn't have 5 cars. They want to have 5 cars? Good, have 5. Have 100 cars. Who cares? Does it affect your life if they have 5 cars? Not really, right? It doesn't really bother you. It doesn't really impact your life if I have 5 cars. But this is how we are functioning all day because we're always looking at. So now you have to stop all that and say, what do I want? What is it that I want? What is my life going to look like? So one of the exercises that I always like to do with people is, think about a normal day. not a great, listen, we have, basically most days in your life are pretty boring, correct? No, you know what I mean, you do your work, you know what I'm saying. I don't mean boring in that sense, but you go through your routine and you go.
I don't like firecrackers every day.
Maybe too much. Maybe too many firecrackers. But what I mean by that is I don't mean boring in the sense that it's not fun, but I'm just saying it's like, you do the same kind of thing, you do different things, you kind of go through your routine. It's kind of a normal, whatever you want to call it. So, what you want to do is look at your life and say, well, what would my regular great day look like? Like that normal day, what would it look like for me? Well, this is what I would do when I get up, this is what I would do for work, or this is what I would do, and this is how I would go to lunch, whatever it is that you would look at your day and say, this is the kind of day I would like to have. So now what you're doing is, you're starting to frame out your specific desire. See, your desire is important. So some people say, oh, I love, and I've worked with people who say, I love the boardroom, and I love to be in a corporate setting, and I love to be in that big room, and all those people there in the meeting. Other people say, oh, I hate that whole thing. I don't like it, but I work with people, they love that. They love to be in the meeting, and everybody's sitting there and throwing ideas around, everybody's talking and fighting. They like that. That's what people do, they like that kind of situation. So there's no, again, right or wrong. Some people want to live by a beach, some people want to live in a mountain, it doesn't matter. So the idea is to understand your day, your desire for your day. That's what you really want to understand. What is my good day, what does my perfect day look like? Well, I got up, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did that. And I was reading a great story in an article, and the guy was talking about a very successful businessman sees this simple fisherman, and he sees this guy, and he's out there, he's fishing, and he makes a nice living, and he does the whole thing. So, of course, the businessman sees this guy, and he says, listen, he said, why don't you build your business, and you can have more boats, and you can do this, and you can do that. And so the guy said, well, why? The guy said, why do I want to do that? He said, well, then you'll have more money, and then you'll be able to do what you want. He said, why do what I want? He said, well, what do you do? He said, I get up in the morning, I have breakfast with my family, that's what I want to do every day. He said, I go out, I work on my boat, I have other people that help me, we do that every day, we bring back the fish, we sell it, whatever he does. He went through his whole day, and he said, I'm doing exactly what I want. He said, so, yeah, but that's not, the guy said, no, but don't you want to have more? He said, no, I'm doing, he said, why would I want to do that? I'm already doing what I want to do. You see, so the simplicity of his day, which is what he wanted, but the business guy looks at this, oh no, you're going to have 2 stores, you're going to have boats, and you're going to have more, because that's the mindset of that person, right? Everybody's different. There are people I know own one restaurant, they love it, they say, this has been my life, I love it, it's the most fantastic thing, I know everybody who comes in. Other people say, no, I want to have a chain, I want to be Ray Kroc, I want to be McDonald's. That's fine. Again, it's not right or wrong. It's not good or bad, it's just what do you want. But the problem for us is to say, when you went to your parents and said, this is what I want, what did they say? No. Not fit for print. Right, for many of us. So the idea was, that's what I want. You learned that that's no good. But you're not supposed to do that, because that's not acceptable. So this creates a lot of problems for us in attraction, because we're in this constant battle within ourselves of conflicting energy between what we learn, what we think we're supposed to do, what makes us successful, what I need to be happy. There's all this stuff swirling around in your head all the time, and you have to be able to say, well, I need to step back from all that stuff and just say, what do I want to do? What is my perfect day? What do I look like? What kind of life do I want to have? What does that look like for me as an individual? That's really where you want to focus your time. And how many of us do that? Yeah, we have one person who does. That's good. So we have a couple people who are doing it, right, on a little bit on a regular basis. But it should really be, when you think about it, that should be what you're doing all the time. Not once in a while, not when you're stressed. You should be in that space all the time. So you're constantly looking at what you want to do. So now you're bringing something negative. So now, the negative things that come in, we want to see those. Anything negative that comes in is the greatest day of your life. That's the greatest day of your life, because that's your opportunity to expand. So that's how you have to see it. So now, I want to go through a different process of what happens when something negative comes in, when you attract something negative. So first you have to say to yourself, the first question is, why did I attract this now? Specifically now. Because you attracted it at a specific time. You've attracted things throughout your life at specific times based on your feelings and your belief system and what was going on for you. All right, so you've been doing that your whole life. You've been attracting things all the time. based on that. This is what I feel, this is what I believe, this is what's coming in, this is what I'm attracting. So you've got to, now, but in the past, you might have gone through your routine. Get upset, yell at somebody, have a fight, blame someone, whatever you did. Now you have to take a step back and say, well, I don't want to keep doing this, unless you do. Some people actually do, by the way. They like to keep doing the same thing over and over again. And a lot of people really like to be dramatic. Do you know anybody? Couple, right? A couple people like that? So people like to be dramatic. So the fact that they want to be dramatic is something where they're focusing on attracting things to create drama. Because they want to be upset. See, a lot of people want to be upset, which is very easy. You can be upset every 5 seconds. So they're sending out energy to be upset. They keep attracting something in. It holds them in the cycle of their identity. Well, look at me, I can't get a break. Look at me, nothing goes right. Look what this person did to me. They want to be a victim. So they want to hold themselves in. You have to look for your identity. What is your identity that you grew up with? That identity is critical because the identity is driving the energy that you're sending out because your ego wants to keep the identity in place. So that's what you're attracting to keep that identity. Well, I was always the caretaker, so I need to keep finding people, attracting people who need my help. Oh, I was always I was always the one who in trouble, so I need to keep attracting things so I feel like I did something wrong. You know, so you have to look at your identity growing up, whatever. Oh, I was always a very responsible citizen, so I'm going to keep attracting things and doing things to keep that identity going. So these are things that you're attracting. You have to understand, it's not just happening. See, people say, wow, you know, I have all these things to take care of. You know, people like that? Mm-hmm. They like that. Because that's their identity, is that's what they know how to do. They know how to say, well, I want to take care of everybody. So I need to keep attracting people with problems or issues so I can keep myself in that space. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be anything. It could be anything that you've been doing for a long period of time. So remember, you're holding that energy, you're sending the energy out, the energy is bringing you those people and those situations over and over again. That's why you keep saying, wow, I keep noticing I'm always in the same situation. Why am I always in the same situation? So one of my big things was always that I like to struggle. You notice I said I like to struggle. See, you have to accept you like it. On some level, you like. Now, I'm not saying I want to keep doing it, and I'm not saying I wanted to keep doing it, but for me to get past it, I have to accept that that's what I like. On some level, I like it. So when someone says, I'm alone, yeah, well, I like to be alone. I'm struggling, I like to be struggling. I'm sick, I like to be sick. You have to accept it. Because that is your identity at the moment. Doesn't mean it's going to always be, but at that moment, that is where you are. So you're going to say, well, right now, why do I feel like I keep wanting to do this all the time? I must like it on some level. On some level, you do like it because it allows you to stay in that identity and keep yourself going. Now, the one thing you notice, if you're deeply into it, is if you are telling everybody the story. Anybody do that? Right. Anybody do that? I'm sure nobody here.
Oh, we all do.
Yeah, right, everybody.
Just own it.
Right, most people. Oh, let me tell you what happened. Let me tell you what happened. Let me tell you this with it. Let me tell you that. Right, so we're all doing this all the time, right? So you've got to catch yourself and not do that. Because when you keep telling the story, you keep giving it more energy, and the universe says, oh, that's what you want, okay, more. See, the universe is non-judgmental. The universe doesn't say, well, you know, Michael's a really nice guy, we should give him good things. If he feels like crap, that's what he's going to get. Doesn't matter how nice he is. Doesn't matter how nice I am. Doesn't matter how nice anybody is. So we have to understand that whatever I'm sending out, so if I'm always talking about it, I'm feeding it all the time. You gotta remember, it's in your head and you start talking about it. It's in your head and you start talking about it. This is what people do. So that holds you trapped in the cycle that you keep going around and around and around. So your awareness to say, I'm not going to talk about this.